listening to two guys talk about big sweaty men in tights. Darren and Al on In the Square Circle on the Duck.
So now when you work Jim Rose this summer with Jake the Snake, is that going to put you in the heel role as Jake the Snake would be the good guy? Or is it going to be night by night?
I think, wrestling in front of different crowds is always, different crowds, dictate different things. Like when I had my debut against MVP, I was in front of a very heel-oriented crowd.
Exactly.
If the crowd we're wrestling in likes Jake, well, guess what? He's the good guy. If the crowd we're wrestling in front of likes me, guess what? I'm the Gizarny, and that's sort of how it will go, I suppose. I mean, we all have something to prove. Jim Rose, has to prove that, he can continue to have crazy, fun shows. That's what makes him Jim Rose. Jake the Snake, he's sort of got to prove, he's got to be the John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, reinventing himself.
Exactly.
I'm the new guy, rolling fresh off of WWE SmackDown. I've got to, prove myself worthy. I've got to establish myself.
Okay, so
we've all got something to prove, and that fuels the fire. And I think between the three of us, kicking the hell out of each other, and whatever two-headed midgets and bearded ladies and squirrels and kitchen sinks get in the way, I think it's going to be it's definitely going to be a three-ring circus that people need to see.
Now, be careful not to injure yourself if Jake wants you to do an elbow drop on his false teeth. He's approached people with that move before.
Oh, now, come on, be nice. He's a legend.
He is a legend. So now,
most wrestlers, I mean, my opinions on Jake are as swervy as a carnival ride. I think Jake is a brilliant entertainer. He has a brilliant mind and for wrestling psychology. I think a lot of guys wouldn't be wrestlers today if it wasn't for watching guys like Jake.
Well, as you said, you talk about a guy who started as a bad guy, but the crowds were so entertained by what he was doing in the ring that it turned into a good guy, even though he was bringing snakes in the ring and doing typical bad guy moves. The crowd just was entertained to the point that they just started to like him.
Exactamundo.
All right, so and
I think Jake going through everything good and bad that Jake's gone through. I think people a lot of the time tend to look at wrestlers, actors, musicians, athletes, not so much as people, but as objects. They don't realize, we've all got feelings too, brother.
Exactly.
Jake and everybody else that has ever been in the spotlight, goes through pressures, and I mean, just the same as everybody on planet Earth, but people don't think that, people have feelings, like seeing stuff in the tabloids and whatever. I'm sure Angelina and Brad Pitt are a little hot every time they see their names being flagged through the dirt,
Exactly.
They're humans too, just because people know who they are is what gives people like the sort of carte blanche to pick on them or whatever, Many people have the same or worse problems than Jake or anybody else. But I can tell you firsthand as a friend and as a colleague, I think Jake is a brilliant dude. He's a very sweet and nice man, and it's going to be my pleasure to DDT his ass every night. Or try to.
And if you have any fear of snake, you'll overcome it working 2 months straight.
I've wrestled Jake many a night, and some nights I slip away unscathed, and some nights I wake up with little cartoon birdies floating around my head as I've been DDT'd, and I've got a python down the front of my spandex, which seems to be his fun thing to do on shows. So.
All right, so Jim Rose Circuit. Now, when does the clinic start again in Puerto Rico so we can remind everybody?
Well, we pushed the tour up probably starting in July 1st, so I'm just waiting on an exact go date. But it looks like this Paradise training camp in Puerto Rico will probably happen mid-June.
Mid-June.
Right before the Jim Rose tour.
Okay.
So we'll be sending out press releases. You're actually the first place that I spoke about it.
Oh, beautiful.
We'll be sending out press releases this week and taking applications for people, and we're probably looking at capping it off. Like, we don't want to have it too big, just so we can really, give people the attention that they deserve and pay for when they're, coming on such an adventure.
Exactly. All right, so for more information on that, everybody, make sure you keep an eye on Kizarny's MySpace. It is myspace.com/theoriginalsin with 2 N's, the original SINN, Kizarny Sin Bodhi. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And again, everybody keep an eye out for Kizarny, and hopefully he'll be returning to WWE soon. Again, John Laurinaitis, give him his effing job back.
Amen.
You selfish bastard.
Give me my damn job back.
Exactly.
I'll leave you with this.
Alrighty.
When I do come back, and I will be back, whether it's after or before dancing in a 666-sided ring,
Yeah.
I want WWE gold around my waist, but more importantly, I want Vince McMahon to dress up like Doink the Clown.
Oh.
And then it will be Kizarny and Doink McMahon.
Kizarny versus Doink McMahon. All right. Again, thank you, Kizarny. Before we let you off the phone here, as we're going to go to a break, can we get you to do a liner for the show, Sin?
Sure.
It's just the show is in the squared circle, and the station is just called Duck Radio, and then whatever you want to ad-lib, whenever you're ready.
My name is Kizarny, Sin Bodhi, if you're nasty, and you were listening to In the Squared Circle, Duck Radio. Just thought I'd let you know what was on my me assigned. Try to turn life into a 3-ring circus and look both ways before you cross the street of Z.
Perfect. All right, Sin. We'll keep an eye out, and we'll plug your upcoming appearances as they come.
Sounds good, dude. But whatever, for this interview or whatever, you can post the links and stuff on my comments on my MySpace if you want.
Okay. Yeah, the podcast will be available after Monday.
Okay.
All right, man. All right, thanks.
Thank you, dude.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Sin Bodhi, Kizarny, right here on In the Squared Circle.
All right, everyone. This is Terry Runnels, former WWE Diva. You're listening to Darren and Al in the Squared Circle on Duck Radio. Quack, quack.